From KLAF NBC, News 15 at noon starts now.
Welcome to News 15 at noon. I'm Princess Jeanne Steverson-Lowry. Thanks for joining us. Our top story of this afternoon, more than a month after he was last seen, the FBI confirming this morning the human remains found in a remote Florida park this week are those of Brian Laundrie. It ends a frantic nationwide search to find him after the disappearance and the death of his fiancée, Gabby Petito. Sam Brock has the very latest.
The nearly 6-week search for Brian Laundrie now over. Police seen entering and exiting his parents' home Thursday evening, a 40-second visit to deliver news that will change their lives forever. The FBI tweeting a comparison of dental records confirmed the remains found at the Carlton Reserve are those of Brian Laundrie. The family's attorney speaking to NBC's Tom Yamas for the first time on camera, revealing that Laundrie's family noticed Brian was upset just before he disappeared.
Did your clients know their son, Brian Laundrie, was going to disappear when he left the house that day?
No, they did not. What I can tell you is that Brian was very upset when he left, and Chris conveyed to me several times that, he wished he didn't let him go, but he couldn't stop him.
The Laundrie family under intense scrutiny after their son returned from a months-long road trip with his fiancée, Gabby Petito, without her. Petito was later found dead in a Wyoming national forest, strangled. Her family, friends, and even police initially calling on the Laundries to offer more information. Then, after weeks of exhaustive searches, the couple met the FBI at the reserve 2 days ago and helped locate their son's belongings.
What do you say to all those people out there who say this is really a strange coincidence? Both parents go out, mother and father, and then suddenly these big clues turn up.
There have been numerous people who have said this area was waist deep in water, and yet still John Q. Public can't get it in their head that these areas were inaccessible.
The FBI has not said how or when they believe Laundrie died. Former FBI Special Agent Clint Watts says it's often difficult to know how parents and police are actually interacting behind the scenes.
Oftentimes the public understanding of the relationship between the victim's family and the associates and with law enforcement, it's not really well known. And I think it's not usually matching up with what is actually going on.
One stark reality undeniably true this morning. 2 young people have now died, and the questions are only mounting.
Acadiana, we are going to take a small break and get a quick check-in on today's forecast with Storm Track 15's meteorologist Adam Olivier. Adam, what do you have for us today?
Well, Princess, we're looking at some sunlight out there. In fact, a lot more sunshine than I thought we would see at this point in time. Thought a few clouds would kind of build on up, but that tells us that the drier air has really filtered on in as we've headed through the morning time and now into the afternoon. Let's see what's in store for your afternoon. Right now it's 83 degrees in Lafayette, so still very warm, but you can see that beautiful blue sky behind me. By the time we hit 1 o'clock, we should be in the mid-80s. And we'll see that continuing through about 3 p.m. There is an isolated rain chance as we head into the afternoon and evening hours today, as that front may try and make its way back to the north. So we're going to have to watch that in your forecast. By 6 o'clock, though, we're in the lower 80s there. Very warm day overall, somewhat drier with that drier air filtering on in. But radar, which is quiet right now, could be a little bit different later on today. We're going to show you Futurecast and talk about more warm temperatures out there coming up.
All right, thanks for that weather update, Adam. An investigation is being launched into alleged sexual harassment at the Lafayette Police Department. A statement delivered to LCG's Human Resources Manager, Mayor President Josh Guillory, involves Interim Chief Wayne Griffin. Upon getting the report, Guillory placed Griffin on administrative leave pending the results of the investigation. Major Monty Potier is taking command of LPD until further notice. Guillory said, quote, "This administration has zero tolerance for sexual harassment. We also have zero tolerance for retaliation, either directly, indirectly, through third parties, and or any other manner." Now taking a look at Iberia Parish, sheriff's deputies arrested a suspect after he led them on a high-speed chase. IPSO says they attempted to stop a vehicle that had been reported stolen from a truck stop in St. Martin Parish. Now the driver of the car, Jeremiah Moore from Shreveport, fled north, driving at speeds in excesses of 90 miles per hour. After the crossing the median onto the service road, Moore abandoned the vehicle behind the home of South Freetown Road. Moore was found shortly after in a nearby sugarcane field and now faces numerous charges related to the high-speed chase as well as a parole violation. Shifting gears on over to St. Martin Parish, Breaux Bridge police say they need your help in identifying the man on your screen. He's wanted for using counterfeit money at a local business. Anyone with information on his identity should call Breaux Bridge Police Department. Their number is 337-332-2186. Again, that number is 337-332-2186. And an investigation by the Morgan City Police Department into reports of inappropriate conduct with underage juveniles has led to the arrest of a 20-year-old by the name of Devin Mayon. Now, Mayon is now booked into the Morgan City jail on multiple charges related to detectives' findings. Police executed an arrest warrant for Mayon. He now faces more than 40 counts of having pornographic material depicting minors and inappropriate behavior with a juvenile, as well as 2 counts of sexual abuse involving animals. Coming up in our national news, Santa Fe County Sheriff's Office says producer and actor Alec Baldwin fired a prop gun that killed a woman and injured a man on the set of the movie Rust in New Mexico on Thursday.
And a live look, I-10 at Doosan, where we're seeing plentiful sunshine out there. We'll find out how long it sticks around in your forecast coming up. And a new study from the Washington University School of Medicine in St. Louis shows that both short and long sleepers experienced greater cognitive decline than people who slept at moderate amounts. DOTD announcing an upcoming highway construction project. Now, starting November 8th, crews will be working to resurface and widen Highway 182 near Birdsong Street to Malaparte Road. The project includes new drainage structures and pavement widening, lane closures, and required, so drivers should expect delays. Detour routes will be posted. Now, the drainage structure replacement will happen from 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. It's a $3 million project estimated to be done in April of 2022. Now taking a look at our national news, we have a tragic ending in the search for the 3-year-old Milwaukee child who had been the subject of an Amber Alert the last few days. Authorities in Milwaukee announced this afternoon that the body of 3-year-old Major Harris has been found. Harris had been the subject of an Amber Alert since October 9th when he went missing. His mother was found shot to death, and the suspect in her murder took his own life. After that, an intense search began for the little boy.
But with a heavy heart, I'd like to pass that we have found Major Harris, unfortunately deceased, at North 35th Street in West Warren. This is an ongoing investigation. This is something that is very fluid at this time. My heart and my condolences out to the family. And again, I'd like to remind that this is still an ongoing and very fluid investigation.
Police have confirmed that arrests have been made in the death of the child's mother, Mallory Muenzenberger. No suspects have been revealed in the disappearance or death of the 3-year-old Major Harris at this time. And producer and actor Alec Baldwin fired a prop gun that killed a woman and injured a man on the set of the movie Rust in New Mexico. That's according to the Santa Fe County Sheriff's Office. The film's director of photography, Miss Hutchins, was killed in the incident, while the director, Joel Souza, was injured. Hutchins was airlifted to a nearby hospital where she was pronounced dead. Souza was taken to another hospital where he's undergoing treatments for his injuries. It's unclear exactly how the shooting happened, but a spokesperson for Baldwin said in a statement, quote, "There was an accident today on the New Mexico set of Rust involving the misfire of a prop gun with blanks." A representative for Baldwin declined to comment further. Production has been halted on the film. No charges have been filed, but the Santa Fe County Sheriff's Office says the investigation is ongoing. And the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention says onions are the cause of salmonella outbreak in 37 states. 652 people have gotten sick, 129 people have been hospitalized, but no deaths have been reported. The source: whole red, white, and yellow onions imported from Mexico and distributed in the U.S. by ProSource. The CDC says do not eat, sell, or serve them. The FDA says the import dates from the onions are from July 1st to August 27th. And new research indicates that overweight and obesity may impact symptoms in patients with mild to forms of COVID-19. A new study from the University of Southern California included 522 adults and children who tested positive for COVID-19 as outpatients. The results: adolescents and adults who were overweight or obese experienced more symptoms, especially respiratory issues like a cough and shortness of breath, compared with other individuals. Now, the study adds to previous research linking obesity to severe outcomes among hospitalized individuals with COVID. And more research suggests there's a sweet spot for sweet dreams. The study from the Washington University School of Medicine in St. Louis found that both short and long sleepers experienced greater cognitive decline than people who slept a moderate amount. Researchers studied 100 participants around the age of 75 whose cognitive function was monitored for 4.5 years. Overall, cognitive scores declined for the groups that slept less than 4.5 hours or more than 6.5 hours per night. Scores stayed stable for those who slept in the middle of that range. Experts say the study helps untangle the complicated relationship among sleep, Alzheimer's, and cognitive function. Coming up, we'll have an update on COVID in Acadiana after the Navy team departed Ochsner Lafayette General this week. Could this mean that we're on our way to some form of normalcy?
And we're seeing some very warm temperatures out there right now. We'll find out how toasty it gets this afternoon and what's in store for your weekend coming up.
Plus, if you're searching for decorations for the up-and-coming holidays, it might be too late. We'll find out why holiday decor is in such a short supply this year. Stay tuned.
Always tracking, always alerting. Here's your Storm Track 15 weather.
Acadiana, in this week's forecast, I strapped on my snow boots and I've also slapped on my sandals. Now, our Storm Track 15's meteorologist, Adam Olivier, can give you a much better idea of today's forecast than I can. Adam.
Well, you know, Princess, we're talking about non-October weather in the forecast. It's very, very hot outside, more like the end of September rather than the end of October. And what we have going forward through the rest of your afternoon, those mid-80s here by 1 o'clock. Some clouds rolling through the sky. Same deal around 2 p.m. You can see 86 degrees, 87 by 3 o'clock. Now, you'll notice that there's not a whole lot of rain being mentioned in this forecast, but I don't want to completely rule it out. Models have been kind of showing throughout the day today that we do see some showers out there, mainly south of I-10. And I'll show you that here in just a second. But looking outside of our tower camera, you go to the north where the dry air has really settled on in, and that is off your screen this way. You can see that there's lots of blue skies. But you go down to the south, here's the Cajun Dome, back off this way, you start to see some clouds building on in. The moisture is gradually returning, and watch what happens as we head through the rest of your afternoon. Still not going to be tracking a whole lot in the way of cloud cover. These temperatures climbing up into the mid-80s. Yes, very hot, very fast, even ending the day near 90 degrees. We get to around 3 p.m., and this is where, if we're going to see any rain today popping up, this is where I would expect it to be, 3 to 5 o'clock. Now, this model has actually backed off on the rain, indicating that that front may stay far enough south and not return north. But again, you see it there. There was one shower that popped up near Morgan City. I stood right in front of it. Sorry there. But there is going to be that opportunity for some rain through the evening hours. And you can see by 5 o'clock or 7 p.m., I'm sorry, we do have 1 or 2 showers still remaining as that surge of moisture behind that front lifts northbound. And our temperatures overnight, they're not going to fall very much. We may get back down to the 60s, but overall another muggy time out there. Temperatures right now, though, in the mid-80s already in Breaux Bridge. It's going to continue warming up. High school football games tonight, a stray shower there between 5 and 7 o'clock, but overall some clouds roll through the sky, dropping into the upper 70s there by the time the games wrap up. Overnight, again, I don't think we see a whole lot in the way of cooler air, maybe some lower 60s north of I-10. Tomorrow, we'll watch for a stray shower storm, 85 degrees, better rain chance on Sunday with those mid-80s again. And then as we head into next week, I want to get you prepared for this. On Wednesday, it's shaping up that we could have some severe weather, already seeing that severe storm risk for parts of our area here as we head towards that day on Wednesday. You can see those storm chances here, so that's a day I want you to pay attention to. But Monday and Tuesday of next week, before we even get to the storms, very, very hot, near 90 degrees with those afternoon temperatures. So we'll keep you updated on all that here. We'll take another look at the forecast with the tropics in the next half hour, but stay with us. We'll be right back after this break.
COVID news this afternoon. 923 new cases of COVID-19 were reported statewide by the Louisiana Department of Health this week. According to LDH's Twitter account, the majority of new cases, 24%, was reported in Region 4. Now that region includes Lafayette, St. Landry, Iberia, St. Martin, Vermilion, Acadia, and Evangeline parishes. Now, LDH also reported 22 new deaths statewide just yesterday. 354 people are hospitalized for treatment of COVID-19 symptoms, with 52 of those people being on a ventilator. And military medical teams arrived in August to help Ochsner Lafayette General as COVID hospitalizations soared. One by one, medical response teams departed as the cases began to die down. One lieutenant commander says that seeing the patients leave brought smiles to their faces. Now, of course, the hospital staff and patients aren't the only ones who are grateful for the military's help. Everyone in the hub city is as well. But the one question a few of us are asking, does this mean we're done with COVID? News 15's Courtney Williams has those answers and more.
So we are still dealing with a virus that is deadly, and we are still in this pandemic.
According to the Louisiana Department of Health, this week marked the first day in Louisiana since July 8th that reported COVID hospitalizations dipped. Dr. Cassandra Paulette says, although things are looking better, we still need to be cautious.
To protect this vulnerable population, we still need to continue to follow all CDC safety guidelines, which includes wearing masks and following proper hand hygiene techniques.
While it seems like Louisiana has officially entered a downswing in case growth and hospitalizations, the number of new deaths reported was 29. Matthew Rivera provides direct support to the elderly and says getting vaccinated will put an end to the spread.
People are having vaccine hesitancy, and that's unfortunate because we're going to never get through this pandemic until we have a larger amount getting vaccinated.
You're all done. Just 46.7% of the state is fully vaccinated compared to the recommended 75 to 95% herd immunity goal. Dr. Paulette says we're on our way, but there's still a lot of work that needs to be done.
Just keep your mask for those who aren't vaccinated so that we can protect them from contracting this deadly virus. But if we each do our part, we will beat this virus together.
Thanks, Courtney. Now, to stay informed on where COVID-19 is spreading and to understand how it could affect families, commerce, and travel, you can visit the website on your screen at ldh.la.gov. And the CDC is expanding their guidance for COVID-19 vaccinations. Yesterday, the CDC officially endorsed booster shots for both the Moderna and Johnson & Johnson COVID-19 vaccines. The announcement comes one day after the Food and Drug Administration authorized the additional shots. The CDC also wholeheartedly endorsed a mix and match approach to vaccine boosters, meaning the booster shots that people get do not need to match the ones they got for their initial vaccination shots. Taken together, the recommendations greatly expand access to booster shots. Coming up on News 15, right before Adam's big weather in the second half, more than 20 people were killed in India over the weekend after heavy rains led to flash floods and landslides.
And as we take a look live, I-10 at Ambassador, you can see a few puffy clouds out there. We'll take a final look at your afternoon forecast coming up.
And a Wisconsin nurse practitioner and the 9 skeletons of his front lawn have a message for those who pass by. Get vaccinated. The reason why his approach coming up.
And as we look at our afternoon forecast, or your evening forecast really, we are seeing those warm temperatures continuing here through 5 o'clock. If you're going to find your perfect pumpkin, we are looking at those mid-80s. 6 o'clock, lower 80s, and same deal around 7. Now we could have a stray shower or two here 5, 6 p.m. mainly south of I-10. And then we get into the muggy air once we get into the overnight hours all over again, doing it for your Saturday and Sunday and even into next week. Princess will talk more about that coming up.
All right, thanks for that weather update, Adam. And Acadiana, don't touch your remote. News 15 at noon continues right after this break. But before we go, here's a sneak peek at what's next. In our What's Trending segment, News 15 is going to tell you about a blind street vendor in Phoenix, Arizona. His community says he has a heart of gold even during the pandemic. Stay with us to find out why.
You're watching News 15 at noon.
Welcome back to News 15 at noon. I'm Princess Jeanne Steverson-Lowry. Thanks for watching. All right, Acadiana, it's a little warm outside, but it's fall. So is it too warm to break out the turtleneck? Storm Track 15's meteorologist Adam Olivier has that answer and more.
Yeah, definitely. It feels more like summer out there, Princess. As we've gone the past few days, we had a nice little brief spell of that cooler air, and now it's gone. We're back to feeling more like summertime. It's 83 right now in Lafayette, 85 in Opelousas, 84 in New Iberia. We are seeing a lot of sunlight, but we are expecting some clouds to begin developing as we get through the rest of your day. By 1 o'clock, those clouds should start filling the sky, at least in some parts of the area. And yes, between 3 and 5 o'clock, we could have a shower or two develop. Mid-80s for those temperatures there. By 7 p.m., we're looking at the lower 80s. Overall rain chances through the afternoon, not really that high, but models pretty consistent on trying to develop something. Now, radar is quiet right now. You don't see anything out there, but we're going to keep tracking that potential for you, show you futurecast, and we'll talk about the tropics, too, coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, thanks, Adam. We're looking forward to it. A nationwide truck driver shortage is contributing to global supply chain issues. There's a growing need for drivers to transport goods on roadways across the country. Industry experts say there are several contributing factors to the driver shortage, including retirement and people changing careers. And while there may not be enough people behind the wheel, the president and CEO of the South Carolina Trucking Association says it'll take multiple moving parts to fix the issues.
Every other mode of transportation has a role in making trucking efficient. So they have to make us be able to load and unload quickly and to keep the drivers productive and the companies profitable so that we can continue to interest people and keep the fleets healthy and rolling.
To address the shortage of truck drivers, industry experts say they're working to recruit younger people, increase the technical college training for CDL drivers, and make pay competitive. And gas prices continue to climb across the country. Right now, the average U.S. price for a gallon of a price of gas is $3.35. According to AAA, California has the highest average price, $4.52 per gallon. At a gas station in Monterey County, prices reached $7.59. Nationwide, prices are at a level not seen since 2014. Luckily, there are ways you can save on gas. For starters, experts say you can drive more gently, which can make your car's engine operate more effectively. Additionally, shop around for the best prices. Depending on where you live, there can be big price swings between gas stations, and even if the difference in price per gallon may only be a few pennies, it can still add up to hundreds of dollars per year. Be sure to check out the various apps you can use to find the best prices along your route. And some of our favorite holidays are coming up, and Americans are racing against the clock to find ways to get in the holiday spirit. The problem is a bunch of retail stores around the world are experiencing supply chain issues. Of course, due to the pandemic. Now, because of that, many people may find it hard to get into the holiday spirit when it comes to holiday decorations. The holidays is a popular time for a lot of us to show off our best interior design skills.
There's like nothing left, and they say they're not stocking anything else.
Well, it's hard to show off what we've learned from Pinterest or HGTV when almost all the shelves are empty. Elizabeth Perkins has been hunting the aisles of Dollar Tree and Walmart for Christmas decor.
Once you get into November, December, if you haven't already got it, you're not going to get it. And that's just from past years. So this year it's going to be even worse.
Retail giants like Walmart, Target, and Hobby Lobby have advised their customers to start their holiday decor shopping now because supply chain issues like rising shipping costs and labor shortages could make looking for ornaments almost impossible to get this year. Dory Cantrell and her partner love Halloween, but because the cost of groceries and gas is so high right now, affording a costume is a no-go.
You got to pay rent, you got to pay bills, you got to focus on all that first. Right now, my girlfriend's actually shopping for some fabric. She's going to kind of home make a little costume for Halloween.
If you want your home to be decked out in time, decoration staples like skeletons, garlands, and Christmas trees should be ordered or bought now. Unlike a lot of the residents I spoke to, Chase Satoon isn't trying to prep for the holidays at all.
Mainly financially, but also I'm just not really ready to decorate for any kind of holiday right now.
Chase says between inflation in America still going up and COVID still surging, he has more important things to worry about.
I'm more focused on school, and also I'm kind of sick of seeing decorations.
At this time, holiday decorations could cost you 3 times the usual amount unless you've got a coupon or can find a good deal. Now, stores in Lafayette are experiencing a shortage because so many other locations in our surrounding parishes are still damaged from Hurricane Ida. So all of those customers are flocking to locations here in the hub city. If you haven't already stocked up on your holiday decorations and presents, start now to ensure that something special is wrapped and ready for the holidays. And drone delivery is coming to North Texas. In a matter of months, people will look up and see drones delivering packages to their homes. It's a part of a pilot program launched by a company called Wing. The Google sister company teamed up with Walgreens to launch drone deliveries in the Dallas-Fort Worth area.
This will be the first time there's ever been a commercial drone delivery service in a major U.S. metro, and that's a huge deal.
This Walgreens in Little Elm, Texas will deliver up to 4 miles away. Another drone staging area will be in Frisco near the Dallas Cowboys practice facility known as the Star. Test flights begin next week with full drone delivery. And Walmart announced that it's bringing back its month-long Deals for Days in November. Instead of one sale for that traditional that usually begins on Thanksgiving, there will be 3 different events online and in stores. Now, the first sale starts on November 3rd and then in stores on November 5th. The second sale is November 10th online and November 12th in stores. While the third is still to be determined, Walmart is spacing out its Black Friday deals for a second straight year, since stores will be closed on Thanksgiving due to the pandemic. Coming up on News 15 at noon, strong storms moving through western Pennsylvania caused widespread damage in neighborhoods around Pittsburgh.
And a look at Crawley's afternoon forecast, where we see lots of sunlight and temperatures in the mid-80s. We'll find out how long the sunshine lasts in the forecast coming up.
Plus, if designing your own phone is a dream, Samsung is making it a reality. During a virtual conference, the phone company says it will soon allow users to be a part of the designing process. Welcome back. Let's take a look at some weather around the world. At least 22 people were killed after heavy rains led to flash floods and landslides in the South Indian state of Kerala over the weekend. Now, the Indian Army and Navy were seen rescuing residents in several areas. Light rainfall across the state is expected to continue, although weather alerts in many areas had been withdrawn. Kerala was also a victim to the worst floods in a century in 2018, when 400 people were killed and 200,000 others were displaced. And there might be trouble ahead as winter approaches. A distribution and supply chain across the country could impact drivers in the Northeast. Elena Barilla reports.
It's described as a crazy time of the year for local garages.
Everyone's getting ready for the winter time. There's only so much time in a day and a month and a week, and we got to try to fit everyone in.
Once the snow hits or the cold weather hits, it's going to turn into extremely busy.
North Country folks coming in for all season and winter tires for a little more traction and safety on the road.
Supply chain across everything has been crazy. It's no different with us.
At G&G Tire Company in Plattsburgh, manager Brandon Bayshard says that's been especially true the last 6 months.
I normally start to see tire shortages end of November, December time. And we're already seeing them, and to be honest, we haven't even started the crazy time yet.
Burning through the snow tire inventory, and he says less manufacturers are making them this year.
Snow tires, they only make them in the summertime every year. So once they sell out, they're sold out.
Distributors giving garages the heads up.
We purchased a lot of our tires ahead of time, earlier than we normally do, because we didn't want to be in a situation where we couldn't get anything.
Warren Tire Service Center says that's helped them with supply struggles so far. But depending on what you drive and what kind of tire you need, you may not get exactly what you're looking for this year. The advice from both garages: don't wait and call your local shop.
Most people should be able to get tires, but I do tell people you should get them sooner rather than later, because things can change.
Figure out what's available currently, get your price ranges set up, get ahead of the game and try to get a plan.
Reminding you some prices have gone up and to be patient during the busy time of year and local staff shortages too.
Strong storms moving through western Pennsylvania caused widespread damage in neighborhoods around Pittsburgh. In Hampton Township, several homes were damaged in what first responders believe was a microburst. Several tornado warnings were in effect in the area. Firefighters are responding to down power lines, tree limbs blocking traffic, and damaged roofs. So far, no injuries have been reported. Coming up, if you're a fan of Whitney Houston, you're in luck. The Whitney Houston hologram concert is set to make its North American debut on the Las Vegas Strip this coming Tuesday.
And if you're planning on doing some grilling out there later on this evening, we could have a stray shower or two. We'll be tracking some warm temperatures, though. We'll find out how long the warmth lasts in your forecast coming up.
Storm Track 15 weather.
Acadiana, we have our Storm Track 15's meteorologist Adam Olivier standing by to deliver the latest news on this week's forecast. Adam, what are you tracking?
Well, Princess, we're looking at a lot of heat out there. Those temperatures building into the upper 80s. In fact, you can see that if you're going to go biking this afternoon, you're going to be sweating. Nearing the 90-degree mark possibly, with some sun and clouds mixing there by 3 o'clock, mid-80s by 5, dropping below 80 degrees though by 7. It's certainly going to be a warm one, and that humidity looks to build back on in. We're starting to see the signs that that front that came through earlier this morning trying to make its way back to the north. You look down at the coast and you start to see some of these puffy cumulus clouds. We're watching these because these could kind of turn into some of those rain showers. But look back here towards Lake Charles. We're starting to see them lift to the north. You see that southerly push? That's going to eventually push that front back to the north as a warm front, bringing in more of the muggy air. Now, the clouds have really started building here. If you joined me a little while ago, we had blue skies, a lot of it, only a puffy cumulus cloud or two. Now that cloud field becoming more widespread, and it looks like through the afternoon hours, we're going to keep that rain chance in play mainly south of I-10, but it's just going to be hot, mid-80s. That humidity could be returning later on. A northeasterly wind likely switching around the later in the evening hours we go to a southerly wind. And that's going to bring in the humidity and stop our temperatures from falling too quickly. By 9 o'clock, though, still in the mid-70s there. And then as we head into tomorrow, when you're waking up, could be dealing with some patchy fog, temperatures in the low to mid-60s. This may be a little too low with the temperatures, just based upon what the most recent models are showing. That front may really jump up and bring our temperatures back to near 70 for tomorrow morning as the low. And you can see that we're expecting some warm temperatures, mid-80s there Saturday, some thunderstorms on Sunday. We also have a severe threat next week that we're tracking as a cold front works its way from west to east. Very humid conditions on Wednesday, providing ample opportunity for some thunderstorms. So you're going to want to keep tuned to Wednesday's forecast there. Quick check of the tropics. Nothing to worry about in the Atlantic, nothing in the Caribbean, nothing in the Gulf, and we don't expect anything to develop within the next 5 days. So we have those thunderstorm chances here on your Sunday. Monday, Tuesday of next week, we are looking at those temperatures nearing 90 degrees once again. And then Wednesday again, pay close attention to the forecast. Potential for severe weather that day. Of course, we'll keep you up to date on that. In the meantime, we'll be right back after this break.
Storm Track 15's Tracking the Tropics, brought to you by Lafayette Roofing.
The last 2 years have been pretty rough on the world, and that's putting it lightly. The pandemic has caused a lot of us to simply give up and throw in the towel. But here's a story of a man who's refusing to let anything get him down.
At the intersection of 75th Avenue and Thomas, when the light turns red, it's go time. But only for Marco Cepeda, whose business relies on traffic. Marco is legally blind. He's been making a means for his family selling brooms and mops on this West Phoenix sidewalk for more than 2 years.
The green one, I prefer to sell something instead of asking money.
And the community notices his work ethic, stepping up even during the pandemic.
You feel so good, especially when somebody comes to you and says, okay, you know, I admire you because you work hard.
He sure does, pulling his car for 3 miles, walking up and down the sidewalk for hours, making time to post videos on social media to promote his small business. He does it all because blindness, he says, should never define you.
Blindness doesn't mean that you cannot do anything. You are human. That's basically what it is. And you are the same as others. You can compete with anybody.
He's a small business owner and a father of 5.
The oldest is 17, then the 13-year-old girl, 11-year-old girl, 5-year-old girl, and 2 years old.
You didn't have a TV?
No. Well, I do, but I don't watch it. I just listen it.
He's not only proud to be able to provide for his family, an ex-wife who's also blind, but also to be a very special part of West Phoenix, a community he deeply cares about.
Have a great one. Even though you don't think that there's kindness right now, there's a lot of people who has kindness right now, especially with this pandemic thing.
He says to never be afraid of change.
In this world, changes always are good. And not because you're blind or not blind, you cannot do things. Nothing stops you to do what you need to do.
In West Phoenix, I'm Liliana Soto, ABC 15 Arizona.
Whitney Houston fans have a lot to look forward to. The Whitney Houston hologram concert is set to make its North American debut on the Las Vegas Strip this coming Tuesday. The show is called An Evening with Whitney, and it includes not only the voice of the late Whitney Houston, but a live band with singers and dancers. There will also be never-before-released vocal tracks from the singer. An Evening with Whitney will start with an extended residency at Harrah's Las Vegas. Also, a new biopic about Houston is in the works. It's called I Want to Dance with Somebody. It's set to star British actress Naomi Ackie. And if designing your own phone is a dream, Samsung is making it a reality. During a virtual conference this week, the phone company says it will soon allow users to be a part of the designing process. It unveiled a made-to-order version of its Flip 3 smartphone. Consumers can pick from a handful of design options that may reflect their personality or taste. People can choose black or silver for their frame and add a pop of color on the front or back of the panel. A stripe panel is also available. The company says up to 49 combinations are possible. You can start creating your phone now through Samsung's Bespoke Studio website. The customization starts at a little over $1,000. And a nurse practitioner in Wisconsin has a bone to pick with anyone who hasn't been vaccinated. Check out his Halloween display in Grafton, Wisconsin, just north of Milwaukee. Kevin Jacoby has 9 skeletons in purple masks on his lawn. Many of them are holding giant syringes that are supposed to be COVID-19 vaccinations. You can also see large coronavirus ball up front. Jacoby says the message in front is clear: get vaccinated. The science is there. We need to save lives. It's going on for too long. He also says he's a big Halloween guy. His original idea was a skeleton pirate battle, which he says he'll save for a future Halloween display.
And coming up, we're going to take one last look at your forecast as we head out this afternoon. Find out if you'll need to bring the rain gear with you. Coming up. And it's a great time as we're heading into the weekend. We're seeing finally that sunlight out there, but oh, you know how the weather likes to be. We're looking at some clouds outside right now. 86 degrees. Could see a few showers out there later on, Princess. Definitely keep an eye on that. All
right, I'll keep that umbrella handy, Adam. Thank you for that weather update, and thank you, Acadiana. Our news continues anytime at klaf.com. Have a great day, Acadiana.